The multipurpose room at the Sunderland Elementary School was standing room only for a meeting of the Taconic and Green Regional School Board on Monday, September 9th. The school board's Community Engagement Committee will be meeting to discuss how to share information and share from community members in the coming weeks about some options the board and the School Supervisory Union administrators have developed to explore ways of reconfiguring the school district's elementary and middle schools to maximize efficient use of the buildings and hopefully ease pressure on future school budgets, as well as stabilizing the educational experience and opportunities for all students. The Taconic and Green regional school districts include 9 towns: Manchester, Dorset, Danby, Mount Tabor, Sunderland, Landgrove, Peru, Londonderry, and Weston, and operates 5 schools: the Sunderland Elementary School, Manchester Elementary Middle School, the Dorset School, Courier Memorial School in Danby, and the Floodbrook School in Londonderry. With enrollment numbers tilting downwards, the board and administration have developed 4 options for the future: doing nothing, essentially just leaving the status quo intact; reconfiguring current schools to include a middle school; closing 1 or 2 existing schools and reconfiguring the remaining schools; or 4th, building an entirely new middle school and reorganizing the current schools. School Superintendent Randy Lowe gave an initial presentation and overview.
To consider how do we appropriately finance our education system, how do we consider tax implications of our budget, how do we keep our budget at a level that we feel like people would be able to afford. And for probably many of you know that what's going on across the state with the funding model is making all of that kind of bananas. That, combined with educational responsibility, those are my 2 big responsibilities, right? So another possibility is that we could close 1 or 2 schools and reorganize from there. This would, and I feel like 2 feels like too much to me, and I'll show you that in a minute, but the idea of closing 1 school, I think, has some possibility. It would provide, again, a more stable educational environment. It would be fiscally sound, saving money. We're going to show you some numbers in a few minutes as well. The cost savings would be dependent on whichever model we ended up going with. The closure of 1 school, we could absorb those students within our system without needing to we don't need to renovate or add a new building. So again, the costs for that move are relatively low.
The combination of declining enrollment numbers and the need to invest significant amounts of money to upgrade aging buildings are among the factors driving this conversation. There are academic and educational concerns in play: how best to deploy the teaching staff and provide equitable educational opportunities across all the schools. But simply closing a school raises other issues around transportation and the role and place of a local elementary school in a town. There were no shortage of ideas and observations offered by the audience, which was largely composed of Sunderland residents, several of whom expressed concern about this process leading to the closing of their own local school, which has an enrollment of 54 students, the lowest of all the schools in the district, and more than $8 million in projected improvement costs. That's significantly less than the Dorset, Floodbrook, and Manchester schools require, but the urgency and priority of the facilities upgrades in Sunderland are second only to those needed at the Dorset School. Dick Dale, the vice chairman of the Taconic and Green School Board, described the next steps the school board and administration will be tackling.
The next meeting is going to give some information that allows us to narrow down some of the choices. The decision that we made tonight says that we need to inform every district in the whole schools system in the same light that we informed this group. We chose Sunderland because on the surface of it, based on the whatever that 76% is, that seemed to be a logical school if we're going to close 1 or 2 schools. And therefore, we wanted the discussion to immediately be front and center for this community, and that's one of the reasons why Courier is the next community that we're going to officially be going to. But my suspicion is that we'll have community forums everywhere in order to discuss this incredibly important issue. We can't preserve the status quo. We have to do something.
By the end of the meeting, the only option eliminated was the doing nothing one. Leaving the status quo intact was not, the school board decided, an option. But the other three are. The issue around building an entirely new middle school, which would probably be in Manchester, would enable the closing of at least one of the district schools, as well as provide modern, up-to-date facilities for local students in grades 6 through 8. It would also require a construction bond that would add to already uncomfortably high school tax rates. The board has been exploring this option for the past 2 years, but has not yet decided on a course of action with it. This is a conversation that is far from over, with more to come. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.